metres.
And for the Lee Centurions?
Well, plenty of people actually did quite well for them. Ben Crooks with a try. What a try that was. We haven't really talked about.
No, true.
He hit such a small hole off Ryan Hampshire. He hit such a small hole and then almost ran two different lines to beat the defence, which was exceptional stuff. One try, 111 metres, 2 clean breaks. Mitch Brown, a try and 147 metres. Whenever he plays in the fullback position, he gets so many metres because he's so willing to just drive at that defensive line, isn't he?
He returns the ball with real interest as well. That's what I like to see. A couple of times he ran the ball back so
That's
powerful.
what I mean,
Yeah. Sorry.
You agreeing with me, but saying it more clearly, I think, than I did.
All right.
Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah. Glenn Stewart, 48 tackles, 12 marker tackles. He's interested. Atalia Vea,
this time, he was
with a try assist, 5 tackles, 3 successful offloads. Actually, Glenn Stewart is higher up in the tackle count than you think, but he's only been rolling in 30s most games, but consistently.
There you go.
Atalia Vea, 1 try assist, 5 tackles, 3 successful offloads, and Matty Dawson, a try, 5 tackle busts, 2 clean breaks.
Fantastic. So the final game of the weekend saw table toppers Castleford. A bit of a dominant display, really. 29 points to 18. Victory over the Leeds Rhinos, marshalled by Phil Bentham, was this.
Yeah, and GLE said the real golden left edge.
Rich Wilkinson got in touch and he forgot to say now then lads, but for 40 minutes we won the physical battle. Cass looked rattled, but repeated soft errors in our own 20 cost us a chance at winning the game. We gift Cass quality ball near our try line and they punished us. When we did get some decent ball we scored. Disappointed but not gutted.
David Pye said, Cass took a while to get going. Few missed chances and a solid Leeds performance. Eventually, though, they got going and the passes stuck. Even so, they didn't run away with it. Does this mean they are the real deal winning games like this?
Well, I think they are. I think this is exactly the sort of game that if they win it, stands them in good stead for semi-finals and finals, don't you think?
Yeah, neutral ground, big occasion, big crowd, big opponent. And to come out after half-time and do what they did to them when it was a very even... They were under pressure in the first half, if anything.
Yeah, but they did that thing that they've done so often this season and have that period of 20 minutes where they dominate a side and get those quick scores.
Absolutely rip teams up for 15 minutes.
Hard to come back from, isn't it? Because it just takes the wind out of everybody's sails. Alfie Wolf said, all day the atmosphere was building for this main event and it didn't disappoint either, as from where I was sat it seemed all of Castleford had showed up. It was hopping. Up until the 60th minute I felt either team could have taken the win. With the help of Gale and the new golden edge of Shenton and Eden, however, they put Leeds to the sword. Best game by far for me, helped by the banter that was flying past between the fans.
Brian Davies said, great to be able to sit back as a neutral and watch Cass in the flesh. Really good, fast game with superb skill. Shenton's pass for Eden's try was pure class. Slightly better executed than his pass to Gale's knees in the first half. Yeah, he passes better to his left than his right. Yes. Great atmosphere and colour from the Cass fans. Be brilliant for the game if we get Cass plus another team who haven't won the grand final at Old Trafford this year.
Albany 85 says, classy Cass indeed. Rhinos made a game of it in the first half but felt like it was only going to be one winner. That said, I'd have to rewatch to tell you much about the game. I was well oiled by the time it kicked off. Can Leeds play first next year, please? RFL. Hashtag Monday Hangover.
Fatboy Rob hungover version said, I was a bit worried at half-time, but the result was never in doubt once Shenny's wonder pass stopped. Add in a perfect assist from Danny Maguire. I hope he never retires. And you have the perfect end to a great weekend. Hashtag 6 in a row. That must be the beaten Leeds 6 times in a row, is it? I don't know.
Is it? Just won 6 games in a row.
Oh, right.
Maybe.
I don't know.
You'd have to tell us.
Yeah.
Scoots28 Matt gets the final word on this one. She says
down 6 pints in a row.
6 pints in a row. Yes, there you go, fat boy, my kind of guy. Scoots28 Matt said a very even match apart from the 20 minutes between 45 and 65 when Cass went on their scoring spree. Really dislike Greg Eden. Wow. Thought Leeds should have introduced Burrow earlier. Jamie Jones, Peanut Ed controlled things well for Leeds early on.
It's 6 magic weekends wins in a row, isn't it, for Cass?
Yeah, Leeds haven't won at a magic weekend for a long time either, have they?
No, they played us, and we're the most winningest
side in Magic Weekend.
Well, we're the top of the table. Our 2 draws. Just had Huddersfield have as many wins, I think.
Oh, really? There you go. I wonder. I've not heard anybody have a right complaint about Greg Eden. I know he's got willies for fingers at times, and people tease him a bit, but I've not heard anyone actually disliking him. I wonder what the basis of this is.
He played at Hull KR, didn't he?
Oh, right. There you go.
So it might have bubbled up through that spell.
Possibly so. Possibly so. I like Greg Eden.
I am ambivalent.
Ambivalent to Greg. You are non-committal as far as Greg Eden's concerned. Let's talk about the game then, because actually at half time it was very finely poised, wasn't it? And it had been a bit of an arm wrestle in terms of what we'd seen on the pitch, and it was interesting stuff. Yeah, 6-6 at half time.
I'm not even sure that on the full balance of things, Leeds weren't a little bit better in the first half. Maybe didn't have as many potentially explosive moments and stuff, but when they made errors in the first half, they backed them up with good play. So, they dropped the ball a couple of times early on, didn't they?
Yeah.
But out after that, and made a few mistakes that led to, like, Gale's try, for example.
Well, that was it. It was a poorly fielded kick that let them in for Castleford in for their only score of the half, wasn't it? Exactly. So it wasn't like Castleford were banging at the door all the way through the first half.
And after that, I thought Leeds were probably better overall, but they just weren't maybe as skillful as you need to be against a Cass defence. That's great. I mean, how many times this year have Cass ended up with players stood up in goal to have to go back and play it on the 10? They just seem to stop players let players get to the line, but never let them get close to scoring. And then obviously on Leeds' side of the fence, you've got the young fullback who doesn't like letting people get over, try to hold up master for what he can do.
Right.
But I don't think I've ever seen a spell with so many great goal line defensive stands by two teams as you got during the middle part of this game.
Yeah, you did see some high calibre defence on show, didn't you? And then, as we've alluded to, Castleford brought out their usual nuclear weapon, didn't they? And they just had this period where they upped a gear and
it was absolutely
blew Leeds out of the water,
just tearing through him, just constantly like finding an opportunity and then making it pay. And
was Mick Shenton's second pass to Eden a sniff forward, do you think?
I think it came out of the hands backwards, but because he was throwing it the other way, the spin would have made it look like it ended up going forwards.
Right.
That's what I think.
Yeah, it was. I mean, look, it's not the sort of thing I want to see not given. To be perfectly honest with you, it was a fabulous try.
Yeah, I think the one I would talk about was Eden's try before that.
Yeah.
And this was where I thought Cass have just turned it up a gear. The pace that all of those players went at and executed that play perfectly and knew their role in that play. Wigan in Maguire's second season, Wayne's first season, I watched that happen firsthand a lot and saw Pat Richards score a lot of tries off the back of that sort of thing, and even saw like lumbering people like Carl Price score quite a handful of walk-in tries off that sort of thing. Carl Price has blocked me on Twitter, and I don't know when this happened or why, because I don't think I've ever communicated with him.
All right.
There you go.
You must have said something about him, maybe not.
At some time in the years ago.
Maybe so. Yeah. Maybe you've not even tagged him in a tweet. I've given him some shit over Twitter, and he's been all right about it. He's gone back. He's had a bit of back and forth.
Oh.
I've not so delicately implied that he was a bit of a fat jabber on more than one occasion.
Maybe by the time you did it, he didn't have aspirations to have a big career, but maybe I might have done it earlier.
Did you get blocked early by Carl?
I don't know. I wasn't aware I was blocked by him until the
other day. It hasn't hamstrung you as a rugby league podcaster, though. No. I suspect we'll be all right.
Well, luckily,
might stop you getting your post round Dewsbury.
We have the second account, don't we? The podcast account.
Yeah.
The podcast account.
We're quite well behaved on, aren't we? Really.
Well, people take it in a different sort of spirit and don't think it's personal, maybe, as well.
Yeah, true.
Because we don't attach our personal names to it as much.
True.
I don't know. We're not out there to get at anyone, really.
Least of all,
honest opinions. Yeah. I just brought.
Should we stop apologising to Carl fucking Price?
I'm not sorry about it. I don't know what I did, but I don't regret it.
You might bump into him at the weekend. I'd start apologising if I was him.
No, he's off the staff now, hasn't he? He's left.
Oh, has he?
Left the Dewsbury staff.
Oh, has he?
I think. Where were we at? Castleford.
Carl Price.
Castleford ran away. Yeah, that try. Eden's tried the pace and the execution, and
phenomenal.
You know, when you see that happen again and again and again from the same side, you just know they've got it working. You know they've got it sorted, and it's so impressive. Yeah. So impressive.
Yeah, they really are. Okay, so deserved win for Castleford, we would both say.
Yeah, definitely. Although credit to Leeds as well.
Yeah, look, Leeds is uptick. Let's talk about Leeds for a second, because Leeds is uptick in performances this season. Whilst it's what you would expect from them, and I think in the wake of such an abysmal season, Leeds have gone from being a middle-eight team to, being probably within a shout of getting to the semis of our competition.
Mark.
So that is good of them in terms of their recovery. When you think that recruitment has been relatively minimal as well, there's not been a huge turnover in playing staff from last season to this, but where they've added has been sensible additions, and it's what they needed. They were missing a hooker, weren't they, at their worst last season, and they've got someone in Matt Parcell who I think is making it all the more obvious that, is not making it obvious, but he's making them say James Segayahu rather than saying James Segayero. So good on Leeds for fixing it up, and good on McDermott as well for sticking with it, and good on Hetherington for keeping an even keel and keeping a level head about sackings and not pulling the trigger and stuff like that. Leeds are reaping the benefits of that patience now, I think.
The pack
when performing now as well, the pack
when they don't have their two big hitters, Cuthbertson and Garbutt, I think they run out of steam a little bit because of the errors that come off the back of some of the stuff they try and do. Cuthbertson in particular, I think it can wear you down sometimes when he's putting in such a big shift, doing such a big workload and being so good, but then as soon as he starts making mistakes coming out of his own end and that sort of thing, it flips it. I feel, and puts the pressure back on them. And the big question mark about what's going on at Leeds is the Tom Briscoe situation. I mean, started the game, made a couple of difficult errors. I don't necessarily think he was to blame for them, because there was other players getting in. Like Leeds, the communication was poor. Maybe because he was a more experienced man in that situation, he should have been calling it and taking control, and you'd expect that from him. But to be pulled off the field, to even have Handley on the bench as if you're anticipating to pull him off the field, it was very bizarre.
It makes me wonder what's going on with Tom Briscoe, because Ash Handley is not the answer.
Well, he was... If anything, he was more error-strewn than Briscoe when he came on.
Exactly.
Certainly couldn't make a tackle.
No.
Now, that combined with Cass getting it right and getting the speed of attack right, but maybe him being there helped with that, because Watkins at sometimes isn't always great in defence. He was quite strong a few times in the first half. That slipped off, and Handley's positioning maybe wasn't as forceful to close things down and close down the space. I don't know, because I don't analyse it that well. It just occurred to me now, so that's why I said it.
No, I think Tom Briscoe's general level of performance and his output has been on a downward trend, hasn't it? Do you know, I can almost pinpoint it for you. We dropped that ball against Catalan in the playoffs 2 or 3 years ago, and I think since then it's just been steadily getting... Obviously he's been injured, and obviously he's had a lot to come back from in terms of long layoffs and things like that, but I do feel the output from Tom Briscoe is getting less. Now, Leeds don't have an immediate replacement for him, because the answer to who's your immediate replacement for Tom Briscoe, the answer is clearly Ash Handley, and that's not the answer to the question that you'd want to hear.
Well, there's young Walker who's going to get more games.
Maybe people like that are going to get coming through. Tell us what the stats told us about this one.
The big wins for Cass were 7-3 in clean breaks. That led to a 5-3 in tries scored, and tackle success, 3.2% better as a team. They also made 170 more metres and significantly 6 fewer errors, 9-15 on that count. Leeds were well disciplined, only 3 penalties in a low 5-3 overall count, but their errors cost them.
There you go. So individually, who stood out for us?
Greg Eden got his hat-trick and 2 clean breaks. Michael Shenton, though, was the main man there. 3 try assists, 5 tackle busts, 140 metres, 3 clean breaks. Andy Lynch, 120 metres. I think in the first half of his stint, he matched up well to what people like Cuthbertson were doing. Nathan Massey, 122 metres and a clean game. He played probably a bit longer minutes than we've seen recently because of a couple of head knocks and stuff around him. Junior Moore's 127 metres.
Somebody didn't make the stats roundup, but I was impressed with young Tom Holmes, the lad playing alongside Luke Gale in the halves.
He was very close to the stats roundup, but all his metres obviously came on that one intercept try. But he's a good product in it.
There you go. Okay, so who stood out for the Leeds Rhinos?
Brett Ferris, 127 metres. Adam Cuthbertson, 43 tackles, 145 metres, 5 successful offloads. Matt Parcell worked hard in defence this time around, 49 tackles, 11 marker tackles. Ryan Hall, 140 metres, returning kicks, and Callum Watkins, a try assist.
There you go. So that's the Magic Weekend review. What does all that mean in terms of the league standings, Mark?
Cass stay top now with a 2-point lead. It's Salford who are second, ahead of Hull. Wakefield have risen a spot to 5th on points difference from Wigan, and significantly Warrington are in the top 8 ahead of Catalan. The bottom 3 stay as they were, but Huddersfield have made up some ground on the teams above, which is positive for them and makes the bottom of the top 8 race more exciting.
There you go. So what's all that done for the predictions, Super Brew and Dream Team standings?
We were both 4 out of